time who represent providers. We also have some providers here with us today. I want to thank you for all you've done over the years. It's meant the world to the kids. There's not been a better time than I think today, as the needs are as clear as they are with the numbers of kids coming into the care. Madam Chairman, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Questions?
Is there any questions? One question. Representative Benton.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm not familiar with your group. Where do the children come from? Have they not been assigned to DFACS or?
Yes, all of the 11,400 kids I'm talking about, the children, they are DFACS. The DFACS census today is something north of 11,000 young people. And these are the people. Of those, some are in foster homes, but some number of them, in excess, close to 7,000, are in the custody of the private provider community who are reimbursed by the state for the work that they do.
Can you give me an example of a private provider?
Goshen Valley Boys Ranch in Cherokee County is a place that I founded, that I am the executive director of. There's 48 young men there.
Is Eagle Ranch a provider?
It's like an Eagle Ranch.
Okay.
The difference between Eagle Ranch and Goshen Valley, and Eddie and I started together at the same time. Eagle Ranch takes private placement people, and Goshen Valley only takes DFACS children. So we are committed to the DFACS circumstance of finding care for the kids who are the courts.
Are these children that you can't find a placement in a private home? Is that what that is?
It is, but there's some of the young people go into foster care, but that's also part of this private provider community. So Goshen Valley, for example, is a child placing agency. We have foster homes, we have group homes, and we have an independent living program for older young kids, 18, 19, 20, and 21. All of those are sponsored by reimbursement and supported by reimbursements from the state. The issue is that we have not had an increase in many, many years, and we fund it through fun runs and cake sales. And that's not really a good way to run a child welfare organization. I think we are looking for the state to say it's time that we are nurturing the private provider community, and we're hopeful that that might be this year.
Okay, thank you.
You bet. Other questions?
I think that's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and we'll be back in the weeks to come in additional hearings. Thank you very much, Madam Chairman.
Next on the list is Ron Scroggy with Together Georgia. Okay. Okay, thank you. Andrea Gibbs.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Andrea Gibbs, and I am with Bethany Christian Services of Georgia, and I am one of those child placing agencies that I'm here to represent Nonium Drayton, our branch director. So at this time, I just wanted to share with you, we have been a child placing agency here in Georgia since 1985, and in that 30-plus years, we have experienced so many of the changes that have occurred over the years through the welfare system and dealing with children and families. The impact that Mr. Blend was speaking about has impacted us, you know, the lack of an increase. Over the years, when we first started with, you know, we see the change from where foster parents used to meet basic needs of housing and some place to sleep or food. Now we're seeing that we're having children come in that have severe trauma. Things have increased over the years where these foster parents have not gotten an increase in per diem to meet some of these needs. These foster parents today are needing to deal with emotional, behavioral, mental issues, and so they need assistance, they need support, they need different training that we probably did not need in the past. So one of the areas that's impacted due to the lack of increase is us having to do those extra things to keep and retain those good foster care homes and places that otherwise, you know, because of the stress financially would actually back out, and we have to try to do our best to retain them. Another area that's impacted by the lack of an increase in the rate is our ability to hire and retain social workers or caseworkers. We want to make sure we keep those workers that we have in place, and we want to keep their caseload manageable to remain efficient and effective. But when we are limited to funds, the increase in children, we cannot meet that need. In order to make sure we stay solvent and to make sure we give quality care, we have to make sure we keep and limit the number of workers. So we'd like to be able to hire more workers and that are qualified and be able to keep them so that way we can serve more children. So I just wanted to speak to that on behalf of the Together Georgia this afternoon.
Okay. Thank you very much. Let's see. Kind of lost the screen. Representative Benton.
I'll be glad to let somebody else ask a question. If they, what is your rate of reimbursement per child?
Okay, I am not sure of the rate right now. It's the standard rate, but of Bethany Christian Services, I know, because I'm actually representing someone that's not here today, so I can't speak specifically to our rate, but we try to increase it just a little more. Again, our intent is to have the best family care and the best people, so we actually do the extras to do it. I do it above.
Is it the same rate that foster families get per child?
No, it's not. I think we are increased just a little bit, and again, we do different things to try to make sure, although the children are coming to us from the state, when we actually work with our families, we do our best to be able to give them. I believe that Bethany gives just a little bit more, again, through finding other ways to fund those extra dollars to help.
Can you give me some idea of the average stay of a child at your facility?
Again, I can't speak to that. I'm actually the community relations coordinator, and our branch director is out of the country at this time. So I've just been asked to be able to step in. So I cannot tell you exactly what the average is. I know that we serve quite a large number that come in through DFACS, but how long each stays, I know that will vary. But specifically on average, I would not be able to speak to that.
Madam Chair, could the gentleman that was up here before, could he speak to that?
I think if Mr. Scroggie comes, he could answer those questions. Is he coming back? I'm not sure. He could answer it.
The length of stay question is really a good question, because if the state is going to move to something like performance evaluations, performance contracting, the length of stay really is not a long stay. It's not necessarily a good thing, because the state is obligated to move a child to permanency. And a congregate care home, group home, is not a permanent solution for a child. It's a very good question, because those numbers vary. I think the daily foster care family right now is 50. It's a little bit less for children, less than 13 or something, about $15 a day. 15 something, but
I think it was.
and the congregate care is a good bit more, depending on levels of requirement.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you.
Next, we have Kate Cantrell. Ms. Cantrell? Hi, there you are. After that, we have Ned Morgans.
Good afternoon. Thank you for this opportunity. Youth Villages, which is the organization I'm representing, is also a member agency of Together Georgia. And so I thought I would tell you a little bit about what we do as an illustration of some of the issues that John raised, so I don't reiterate everything he said. Youth Villages is a nonprofit organization, and we serve children across the state of Georgia through an array of services. We offer in-home services through our Intercept and YV LifeSet programs here in the Metro Atlanta area, and we offer residential services, including group home and psychiatric residential treatment at our Inner Harbor campus in Douglasville. As has been shared by my colleagues, we also face significant challenges in operating our RBWO, or residential program, with the current rates that are approximately 75% of our costs. We strive to provide the best possible care for the young people that we serve. The youth on our campus attend a SACS accredited school, and they participate in many therapeutic activities, including West African drumming, gardening, and animal-assisted therapies. In order to cover the full cost of doing so, we rely heavily on our fundraising efforts. As we have seen larger numbers of children come into state custody, and we anticipate that this will continue, we share the concerns of our fellow providers about our ability to build the capacity to serve them when the private dollars we are able to raise must be used to cover the costs of caring for the children already in our care. As a fully engaged partner in the state's vision to have the best child welfare system in the world, we respectfully ask the state to fully fund the costs of our service delivery. As John mentioned, in the proposed amended budget, there is additional funding for out-of-home care for DFACS children. We are hopeful that a portion of this money can go to support a rate increase for the private providers. By fully funding these services, the legislature would be supporting the provider community and our DFACS partners as we collectively work to set these young people on a path to success. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Is there any questions? Representative Kirby, hold on just a second. There you go.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I guess for disclosure, I'll tell you my oldest daughter with social worker and work for youth villages in Tennessee.
Oh, okay.
They have, from her account, a lot of turnover, a lot of overworked employees. What kind of caseload are we seeing in this state and that your people have, and what kind of turnover rate are you experiencing?
That's a great and very well-informed question. We, as I said, we do an array of services. So on the community-based side, we have very low caseloads, usually serving 4 to 5 children and their families at any given time. In our residential facilities, it's a little different. There aren't typical caseloads, but we do see high levels of turnover, and a lot of that goes back to our ability to really attract and retain quality staff, given the costs that we incur to provide these services and the rates that we receive. So that's one of our big challenges, is both attracting and retaining staff.
What's your entry-level salary for the caseworkers?
It ranges from 30 to 33.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, any other questions? Representative Benton?
Thank you, Madam Chair. The facility that you work at, what's your capacity?
We're able to serve up to 45 children in our group home or room board and watchful oversight program, and up to 90 children in our psychiatric residential treatment program.
Okay, are you full?
We are at 33 young people in our group home program today, and I'll tell you the reason we're not closer to 45 has been staffing. We've had a difficult time maintaining staff, and we need to make sure we have adequate staff to provide the care to kids.
Okay, so y'all don't ask for them unless you're sure you've got the staff to.
Absolutely. We take the responsibility of caring for these children very seriously.
What's the average age of the child at your facility? You have any idea?
It ranges. I don't have that number with me today. It certainly varies over time. In our group home programs, typically they're adolescents.
Okay, so 11, 12, 13.
14, 15, 16, 17. A lot of times, what we find, and this is just a broad generalization, there certainly are variances to this, but a lot of the kids in congregate care, group home type care are your 14, 15, 16, 17 and up. Younger children are often able to be placed in a foster home more easily.
Mm-hmm. Well, are y'all working with the families of these children to try to get them back in their home, or is it pretty much a lost cause?
Oh, absolutely. I'm so glad you asked that. We really do believe that we want to get kids back to their families whenever possible. And at Youth Villages, we actually have an intensive family-focused program where we work on that reunification. So what we know is that some children need to be in residential care for some period of time. We don't want them any longer than we have to have them, and we want to get them back into the community, into their families as quickly and safely as possible.
what do you find is the number one reason that a child is placed in foster care right now?
I think what we see a lot of is kids that are coming into the system due to neglect. And a lot of times what's happening is that their families are dealing with a lot of stressors. Now, these are families that are often living in poverty, that have a lot of basic needs stresses, and a lot of times that significantly impacts their ability to be able to be effective parents. The positive with that is that a lot of those parents, with adequate support and training and services, can prove themselves and be able to get their children back and ultimately be a good place for their children to be.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Representative Petrie? Oh, you didn't? Okay, I'm sorry. No question? Representative Howard?
No, thank you, Madam Chair. Question, is there a map that could sort of tell us where these providers are located across the state?
There is, and it was actually on display downstairs earlier. We had our Together Georgia Day here at the Capitol. John, do we have that available in some sort of a handout, the map that has the little pin drops of providers? We can get one to you, I guess is where I'm going with that. But yeah, a lot of the providers in our association are located in the metro Atlanta area, but we do represent providers from all parts of the state.
Okay, I think that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Next we have Ned Morgans.
Madam Chair, my understanding was that Mr. Morgan's planning on shooting at 4 o'clock and sign up
Okay.
on the list.
Okay. Make sure he puts his name on the other sheet.
Yes, ma'am.
Amy, I'm going to try my best. Lucha Cherio. No? Amy? And Pat Mandre. Okay.
Good afternoon. Thank you for allowing me to be here this afternoon. I am Pat Madre. I'm an adult daycare provider in Augusta, Georgia. I am here representing the Georgia Association of Community Care Providers. We're an organization that originally started representing folks that serve people in the community through various waivers, starting with the aging population, but that we have diversified as an organization as time has gone on. I am on the board of the Gossip is the name of that organization, as their adult daycare representative. We are coming, I have this month, in January of 1996, I opened up the first medical model adult day center in Augusta, and have seen a lot of changes as we've provided care in that arena. We have certainly seen minimum wage increase on multiple levels throughout that time. All cost of living has increased. The individuals that we serve have become more medically fragile, and they have always needed to meet through the CCSP program, the Community Care Service Program. They have always needed to meet level of care for nursing home placement, but that level has just become more fragile, more medically needy as we have continued to serve this population. We, in the adult day setting, we serve individuals 18 years of age and older, and throughout the year, when I first started, we could serve people. The average stay was 24 months. The community-based services, and there are multiple services through the CCSP program. They are, and adult daycare is one of 7, but the average length of stay was to prolong 24 months that allowed people to stay in the community. Now that number is closer to the 5-year mark. So we've seen a lot of positive changes. We've served a lot of individuals. The one thing we have not seen is the last, with adult daycare specific, with the last rate increase we have seen for that program was in 1998. So we serve people through the CCSP program, through the SOURCE program. We do serve, as I mentioned, the elderly and the disabled. There are a limited amount of slots that are served through the CCSP program, and that's at approximately 2,500 currently. This particular year with the CCSP program, there have been limited referrals per area to 1 per month in each region. And that's for all of the 7 services, not just for adult daycare, but for all of the community-based programs. So it's difficult to serve within those limitations. So we would like to request consideration for a 5% rate increase for the adult day services within the supplemental budgeting. Are there any questions?
I don't see any questions.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Okay, I believe that concludes. Do any of the members of the committee have any questions or requests from Senate or House budget offices?
I didn't understand. Forgive me, I should have. On your handout, you said Georgia should use all of its $34,000 slots granted under elderly and disabled. Is there an artificial cap by Georgia? Are you saying that federal law would allow us more slots? Madam Chair, I don't know who can answer that question.
Madam Chair, Stephen Neff, representing the Georgia Association of Community Care Providers. So certainly, well, there's a max in slots as well, we know, but it's based on the amount of money that the state puts forward to match to the 40/60 to therefore to determine the number of slots that can be used in any of the various programs.
So you're saying that the federal law would give us unlimited federal money if we were to match? Is that what you're suggesting?
Every ask that we have would have to be approved through the Center of Medicaid and Medicare services and implemented through GCH before implemented.
And these are comp waivers, not now waivers.
No, ma'am, they're actually CCSP waivers for aging and disabled, but there also is, you're right, under behavioral health, the now and comp waivers for those with developmental disabilities. But this program happens to serve those with aging, as she serves in her program, but she also may qualify and did to become a comp provider and serves those in her facility as well.
That answer your question? It's confusing. Let's see. Do one of y'all have a question? Okay, I'm sorry. Anyone else? Do I have Stetler? No. Okay, I think that does it then. Excuse me.
Stan Jones with Nelson Mullins. I'm here with the child providers. There are several waivers there, so the CCSP waiver is different from now and comp. Now and comp are more focused on support for people with developmental disabilities. CCSP is more focused on elderly who are disabled for the purpose of keeping them out of nursing homes and
Okay. All right, well, that concludes our meeting this afternoon. I believe we're on time. I appreciate you coming and look forward to working with you the rest of the session. Thank you very much.